Hola. Mi amigo me dio tu número porque estamos buscando comprar MDMA per primavera. Ignore that feeling. So I've been thinking loads about how many podcasts now are engineered to get you to say the worst thing that's ever happened to you so they can put piano music over a clip of you.
That's why
and make you cry. And you had that.
I do loads of podcasts because of that. I got so much of that shit.
Yeah, John Robbins one.
Yeah, he was so sweet. He texted me. I was a bit mental when the podcast came out because I was in Australia.
That makes you mental.
Well, it is
homesick. I got bad homesickness the first time.
You're on a different timeline. Like, I found that the only times that I could talk to my actual friends was from 7 p.m. up until 10 p.m. But that's when I'm gigging.
Yeah.
Or really early in the morning. And I was so scared about that podcast coming out because I knew that I knew that I went really vulnerable on it. And I also had this weird thing where I was like, I'm not going to even... I talk about it in my show, put words on the actual event that happened to me in my show, but I do it so quick and it's very much like this happened and I move on from it so quickly.
Do you not want to say the words?
Is that all right? Because
okay.
I know it's stupid. Actually, we've said it before on this podcast. You'd know.
All the time.
Yeah, I know all the time. You'd know. But when I was doing the podcast, the How Do You Cope podcast, I kept going to myself, you're a comedian, Alison. You're a comedian and you're promoting a comedy tour. And it's been so, but I kept crying during it. And John was so,
that happened on Tommy Tiernan as well, where he was like, do you need lotion? Do you need lotion?
And then I'm like,
so much cocoa butter.
So much. Not only was I fat, but I was slippery as well. My life was like a slip and slide. That's how I commute.
Yeah, it's also, I've done a podcast before where they tried to, I've done two where they tried to make me cry.
Yeah. I think I know one of them.
Elizabeth Day's one.
Yeah. And an Australian one, was it?
I know, Aussie one. They were really nice, those guys.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can tell there's or do you know the one I watch a lot? That Paul Brunson. He was on a dating show.
Yeah, I see clips of that coming up all the time, and I feel a bit.
That's a really good watch. The Kerry Katona interview is amazing.
But you see, I did a podcast with Kerry, so I
Yeah, I know.
I know. And with the whole, there is a industrial complex of trauma. Instead of writing books about it now, you go on podcasts.
McCarthy just did a book about that. You know, the guy that wrote Poverty Safari. He's a Scottish writer. He did a book. I think it's called Industrial Trauma Complex or something.
I'm so afraid of engaging with that type of stuff because I don't know. Maybe there's a part of me that goes, all I have to offer is trauma or personal perspective that I don't know what else to do with it than to make art out of it or talk about it in a frank way.
But everyone has to do that now on a podcast.
Yeah.
If you're publicising anything, you have to go on and find something. I'm trying to think if I've ever seen one where the worst thing that's happened to someone hasn't been that bad of a thing.
I always wanted it, I did a podcast with Poppy Hillstead and it was about magazines and all, real life stuff. But me and Poppy have had absolutely crunchy childhoods, I would describe it as. And even with our old podcast, Wheel of Misfortune, and this podcast, I mean, some of the stuff that we said was incredibly dark. But I like laughing about it. And I think that's why me and you became good friends.
Yeah, I find it really uncomfortable to have stuff framed in that
with
piano music way, especially when it's a stranger.
I know.
Hey man, I started the EMDR.
Me too.
And
thanks to John Robbins for me. He got me
same.
He's been incredible. I want to state number one, if there's anyone that you want to do traumatic stuff to, it's John Robbins.
Yeah.
Because he texted me the whole time. And when I was in Australia, I didn't share any of the clips, and I kept away from Instagram for a couple of days, which, you know, for me is like crazy. I
Yeah.
can't do that, but I couldn't engage with it.
But it's the most praise you've ever got for anything, and so much less like outpouring of love and yeah.
Yeah, I've had like famous people follow me off it and then DM me, and I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, it's probably talking about binge eating and stuff, and I've always kind of like, even before I did my show, I never engaged with why I'm fat, because I was like, well, I am fat, so I don't have to think about it. I'm not going to actually. I felt it was really like navel gazing, and then when I lost weight, then I became more defensive of the fatter person that I was.
Because people are nicer to you.
Yeah, because people are nicer to me. And it's weird because I'm off the Mount Gerald now because of my gallbladder issue. And I probably have I'd say I have put on weight. I can't see me not putting on weight because I'm eating more. And I was sedentary for like a month because I had an operation. And do you know what's so weird? Like yesterday, I was on Instagram and there was someone else who's also Manjaro, and they were just going, isn't it mad I do these activities now? And I had a picture of her, and I got totally triggered from it because it's so, I now
What
care.
activities?
Like, I don't want to name the actual activity because I don't want the person to feel bad, but it was like exercise. They were like, I'm into exercise now, and I wasn't into that before. And it's a little selfie, like a smiley one. It's nothing to make I would have done that, but then I looked at that and I was like, I can't look at that anymore.
What? Why?
Because I'm putting on weight and I don't know if I'm ever going to get on Mount Jarrow again.
Really?
Yeah, because like I don't think they'll sell it to me, because like the big question you always get asked is, have you had your gallbladder out? And I've always been like, no, it's cooking like a little microwave in me, but still in there, you know, and I go click.
You can get it.
I know. I know. I probably, yeah. But now I'm on ADHD medication, and someone told me that ADHD medication is an appetite suppressant.
Yeah.
So I've always been of the.
Whenever skinny actresses get diagnosed with ADHD, I'm like, convenient.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. That's so true. But it's mental that like the only time that I've engaged with diet culture is when it's actually working for me. So when I'm doing the Mount Jarrow, I'm like, I need to get my protein. I need to get my nutrients. I need to like make sure that the little stuff that I'm eating, because I can't eat that much, has to be of nutritional value.
Yeah, that's all good stuff to do.
It is.
I don't think of that as diet culture, really. Apart, I mean, I'm terrible at eating protein. I eat fuck all protein. It's the worst food group for me.
And when we were planning this podcast, I kept going, we're going to talk about beans. And you were like, please, I beg you.
Say that in the meeting.
Yeah.
But it was an outburst. She went, beans, we want to talk about beans. And I was like, we're trying to look serious in front of Ben.
Yeah, but it's a fiber and a protein. It cannot be beaten. But, you know.
But as a general podcast pitch,
yeah,
you can't say we plan to talk about beans.
Yeah, but look, come here. If we actually, because what we ended up talking about, imagine if we pitched the podcast with what the podcast actually is now.
I was trying to talk about my EMDR.
I'm going to go back into it in 1 second. But do you think if I pitched to Plosive, so I'm going to constantly hint that I was sexually assaulted throughout every episode?
Yeah.
Do you think?
I thought you didn't want to say it, and you've just said it again.
I don't know.
This is what I'm confused about.
I know, that's true. But EMDR. Like,
I'm now going, I don't want to be vague about what I'm getting EMDR for. I was violently attacked when I was 20.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I started the EMDR.
And I used to joke about that, and like,
she didn't just joke about it. Alison did a drawing of the thing that happened to me.
For a poster. It was a suggestion for a poster. I know. I think that was the first big test of us. And
it was very hurtful.
It was
to me.
I know.
And if imagine I was the type of leftist to say triggering, you may be lucky to have centre left friends sometimes, because I just sucked it up. I just went.
You didn't suck it up.
All right.
No, you didn't. You said that was very hurtful.
Yeah, but it took a lot for me to say that.
I know. But I'm so weirdly dead inside to
Yeah.
that kind of thing. I often joke about other people's horrible traumas because I do it about mine, which is
Well,
not
I never
excusing that.
mentioned the thing that happened to me on the podcast.
No, you haven't.
No, I don't. Well, anyway, I was getting the EMDR, and the woman that does it is so lovely. And she was like, "Are you still in touch with the person who did this to you?" And I went, "No, I just Google him sometimes to see if he's dead." And she went, "Oh, Fern, you make me giggle."
Well, oh my God. You know the way with EM, do you want to talk about
Well, the thing they
process?
do with you is, I don't know if you had this. They started off with like they make like a map of all the bad things that have happened to you, right? So that took me 2 sessions.
Yeah.
And I'd come off it, and then I'd say to Connor, "Oh, I kind of held back this one because I don't want her to think I'm mental." And then
But
we
you're-
would get to the last 5 minutes, and I would go, "Oh, also I went to school in a psychiatric unit." And I've left that out. And then she would kind of go, "Oh, did this happen?" And I'd go, "Oh, I didn't want to say this before, but then also this happened." I haven't mentioned the strip clubs yet because I just was like, I thought that's fit compared to the other stuff. That's all right.
I
really.
know. It's mad when so much happens to you that you do have a weird charting system.
And
of
then
what's the
they're like
worst.
suicide attempts, and you're like, a couple of them were just cries for attention.
Babes, that's so funny.
I'd only say one was the serious one. The others were just the annual suicide attempt.
The solstice. You're making me think. You're making me think of like the Frank Sinatra song "My Way," where it goes, "Suicide attempts. I've had a few, but then again, I did it my way."
But Connor was going, "Why are you trying to impress the therapist with how not mental you are when you're going there for being mental?"
It is crazy how
But
we do that.
finally, you get into the EMDR bit, and they make you sort of do this like self hypnosis where they were like, "Think of a place, a lovely
A
place,
safe place.
like a safe place, like a beach or a forest." And I was like, "Can I do Glasgow?" And
Which part of Glasgow?
just my flat.
Yeah. Nice.
And she was like, "Think of someone who always sticks up for you." I said, Alison and Maurice. And then she was like, "And now think of someone who would fiercely fight anyone." And I was like, "Can't really think of anyone." And then I was like, "Can I do my cat, Lupa? Because she's attacked me a lot of times." And she was like, "Okay." And then you had to pick another thing. And I was like, "I really can't think of a single person in my life who is this."
Yeah.
So then I was picked like Susan's dead dog. And she was like, "So this is a dead dog." And I was like, "Yeah, she's an angel dog." She was like, "Okay."
She's an angel dog. She's literally dead.
And then she had to pick more and more people. So then it gets to the point where she's like, "So now you are in the room with Alison, Maurice, Annie the angel dog, Sinead O'Connor, Courtney Love, and Lupa the cat."
Can
And they are all protecting you.
Can you imagine in real life if a predator came in and it was me, Maurice, the ghost of Sinead O'Connor, Courtney Love, and one animal is dead and one animal that attacks you?
I did worry that Susan was going to be like, "Why are you using my dog?"
It was a sweet dog.
Yeah, a really nice
It
dog.
was a sweet dog.
And then I phoned Alison straight after the session because that was the only person I knew who'd also recently had EMDR. But it was really good.
Did you do the clicky thing or was it the eye? You did this on Zoom, did you? Or in...
Did it on Zoom. Haven't done a clicky thing yet. We did tapping.
Ah,
Oh, that was it. They did the tapping at different speeds.
yeah.
She tell you to like slow down, speed up. And for some reason, when I did it like this, I started to feel like panicky, which was weird.
Was that like a feeling of your chest breathing?
I don't know. Like, I'm not really in touch with my emotions, which is why I'm having it.
Yeah.
So she was like, "All right, stop doing that and then do that." But I thought it was going to be eye movement, but she'll maybe do that.
I had eye
later.
movement on mine. It was like,
How many sessions have you had?
I think I've done like 3 sessions and 1 pre-session where you have to do out a shopping list of like every bad thing that's happened to you.
Yeah.
And then she, like, my therapist is really good. She goes, well, this is childhood feeling unsafe. So we're probably going to do like these 3 things in this session.
Yeah.
And then there was stuff to do with work in the second session, and then there was the violence in the third, and I still have more to do, like adult violence or whatever.
I think I'm gonna be near death by the time
Yeah.
I do them all. So then you just go, what's the point?
I know someone who got it done, and like so I did a gig with her, and she was talking to me about it. And she said, like, it changed her life. She did about 4 sessions. I think I'd say I need like 8 more, I'd say. But I do feel, I don't know if I've changed that much. I feel.
I think you've gradually got a bit better at saying how you feel.
Quicker. I'm trying to do that. And like,
that could also just be a conscious thing. Effort.
Yeah, I think it's because of the breakup and stuff.
Yeah.
That I have to be like, and because I'm like, I'm 37 now, and like I don't.
We've not said that on the podcast before. You broke up from like a long term relationship.
Yeah, and that was. I mean, it's so sad, but also, like, I just have to be. I don't have time now anymore to not say how I feel and stuff.
How do you mean you don't have to? Surely you've got more time.
Well, I want kids. So.
Oh, sorry. Right. Yeah.
That's the kind of thing. And like with the therapy, it was kind of like my one was like a ball going across the screen, like Pong. And like, I'll tell you, I can't remember. My protectors I picked were like not great. Like, I picked Alison Hammond. I picked, who else did I pick? I picked Chris Kent.
Yeah,
you
said
can
that.
See that. Like,
he's lovely.
He's lovely.
He's a comedian from Cork.
A really good dad. And he's like really, he's just a really nice person. And like my safe place was like Margate on a pier in Margate with the sun setting. Because I've just had really good times there.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been there like 3 times, and each time I've been there,
it's
like,
great.
I love life. But like, it's been weird. I was going through there was stuff that I thought was like very small fry. And I'm also writing out a book proposal. And when I'm writing out the book proposal, I'm kind of writing out bits that, like, anecdotes that I remember. But then I feel like my body feels mental after I write. It feels.
Yeah, I had that when I was doing mine. But that's the good thing is I'll say to you for ages, you need to start writing about these things that are making you upset on podcasts, because writing is a form of processing. Writing's a way of thinking.
Yeah.
And also when you switch to write a crap version of something, print it out, and then get a pen and write that way on top over the draft, because that makes you use other bits of your brain when you write like that.
Yeah, I think like a big thing from writing has been like I haven't been protected.
And you also, when you look at it, you can work out if you're saying what you actually mean.
Yeah.
Sometimes the first time you write something isn't actually what you mean. And by rewriting, you can check in again and again, or putting something away and coming back to it a week later.
Yeah. I think my big kind of like existential crisis has been like through doing podcasts and through doing the show and through doing this podcast is like, how much am I actually healing? Or just because I verbalize that something's happened to me doesn't mean that I'm not affected by it.
I think from how often
I bring it up.
Well, because that's only started to happen in the last year.
Yeah.
That might be the start of recovering from it.
I think so. I think I've been like and it's this weird thing. I don't know if you have this.
Because you never did this with the first few years I knew you.
What was I like the first few years I knew you?
You didn't cry much. Whereas now it's quite a lot.
I know. I think I was.
But you didn't cry about the breakup in front of us really much.
Yeah, I cried. I think I've cried more in the past month over it. I think it's because I felt so guilty over it because I broke up.
Yeah.
That I'm like, I don't have a right to be upset over this because I've hurt someone.
Yeah.
But I'm crying more.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to cry during this episode. You were promising to cry.
Oh,
during
no,
this
that's one of the things she wants to do. She said she's noticed that I'll start to cry and I manage to shut it down immediately. And she said that's very unhealthy.
I know, but I admire that from you.
Oh, no, it's terrible for me. It's,
But
you know the chronic muscular pain that I have.
It's from ignoring that feeling. It's
Literally, yeah, like because I think crying in front of people is like so disgusting. Not when you do it,
No,
when I do it.
I do too. I think it's been like,
And I'm like extremely proud of being able to not cry.
Yeah. I think I've been brought up with the feeling that crying in front of someone is manipulation.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And it's like such a, and also, yeah, so when I see reels of people on podcasts crying, I need to look away because it just reminds me of what I don't like about myself. Do you know, of getting to that vulnerable point and doing that, even though like I'm quite open about it. And it's weird because I'll go, no, I'll talk about it. It's fine. And then I'll talk about it and then I'll get affected by it. And then I get mad at myself for being affected by it.
Have you ever looked at the Gabor Mate stuff linking ADHD with trauma? Because people go mental over it, but at the same time,
Did they disagree with him?
they get very ADHD people get really defensive over it.
Well, I'm kind of new to it, like being ADHD. So, like, if
with how much? Sorry.
Well, like the people that I know that have severe ADHD, apart from one of her friends, I don't know what her, but like one of our friends that has ADHD, the way that me and her bonded was by talking about our childhoods and how crazy it was and stuff like that. So I've always kind of like or even chronic illness I associate like with stress.
Chronic illness is so heavily linked to traumatic stuff, but at the same time, it gets it's tricky to talk about because everything now is so binary and social media has forced everyone to have very black and white definitive takes on stuff, which means you can never really talk about both sides of things. So loads of your family has ADHD or autism.
Yeah.
So there's no doubt there's a genetic component. So you could argue that being raised by parents that are neurodivergent in some way can lead to a more chaotic upbringing, which then leads to trauma.
Yeah.
And then again, people have tried to make the argument that some people aren't autistic, they're traumatized, except the nature of being autistic means you're much more likely to be excluded,
bullied,
vulnerable to stuff, and therefore traumatized.
Yeah.
And I think chronic illness is linked to trauma, but at the same time, there's so many women who get dismissed with stuff like endometriosis and things and told, oh, you're just stressed, just go on antidepressants. And there's a lot of like bad faith people that think every chronic illness that a woman has is somaticized.
Yeah. So it's kind of...
So it could be both things. Hold two ideas in your head, everyone.
But like...
we should have asked Gabor when he checked us into the Airbnb in Spain.
There was a guy who looked very like
but he was stressed about getting me €5 change for the tourist tax. Yeah, Gabor Mate was running our Airbnb.
He was. What's his most famous book, Gabor Mate, again?
Don't know.
Yeah, I've never read it. I know Gabor Mate as a character from Reels who just gives out
a very
knowledge.
Sad voice.
Yes.
When you traumatize a child. Is that how he talks?
Yeah, I think
It'd be
so.
like when my mother left me in Hungary, that created a wound. That's sort of how he talks, right?
Yeah, it is. From what I remember, it is. But like, there's the two ideas in one. I feel so scared about talking about ADHD or exploring why I have trauma or whatever because of like the sensitivities around it by people. Like I don't
Look, know what? We're never going to please everyone. When you've second guessed yourself by apologising for being a Smiths fan, someone had to go at you. You're
know.
never going to. If you're going to put yourself out there publicly, people are going to disagree with you.
I know, but I've
Just live an analog life. Put a record on and read it. But everything's going that way.
Put your records on.
Yeah.
But like I've spent my whole life being a people pleaser or being so afraid that people wouldn't like me.
Yeah.
I don't know what my actual personality is. And this has been since
A little bit of a bitch, to be honest.
But only you get to see. I know, but I've been traumatized.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff about people pleasing out at the moment.
Yeah.
There's a lady I follow that follows me, Bryony Gordon's got a book out about people pleasing, and she put up, I think it was her, because there's a couple of people with people pleasing books out, and they put up a list of people pleasing traits, and I was going, no, I've never done any of this in my life.
No. Yeah, you're not a people pleaser, and I don't think that's a bad.
I do say yes to jobs that I don't, or I'm getting better at this. I say yes to stuff sometimes to get someone off the phone. That's the worst. Or when I got diagnosed, they gave a thing to give to my agent, and it said Fern will often say things in order to get off the phone.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I didn't know that was an autism thing. In India, yeah, I'll go to India. That was one of the places. I do really want to do comedy in India, but I'm a bit nervous I'd get in bother.
I think loads of people have done it, haven't they?
I think it's just if you talk. I made pals with some Indian comics in Australia, and they were like, just don't talk about politics.
Yeah. And
I don't know anything about the politics there.
No. You can bring up Arlene Foster. I'm trying to.
No, I'm not doing that old
that
bit.
You have.
Well, I think I remember doing that Arlene Foster bit, and then I was in the Belfast Telegraph where they were like, "Boo, defund the BBC because of this Fenian." Too neurospicy. I hate that. Well, I have so many people use that to me in comments, like we're neurospicy gals, and I'm just like, no. Must we infantilize ourselves?
Yeah. Do you want to talk about like autism and ADHD? Because we were chatting in Spain.
Yeah, yesterday I said to my partner, never ever bring up again me having ADHD. I don't have it. And I was like, if there's issues with me emptying the dishwasher or forgetting to buy things from Tesco,
I do that.
Let's
with
frame
malice.
it. No, but I'm like, we can just talk about it in that way rather than pathologize it because I don't have ADHD. And a lady got in touch with the podcast to say, I am confident that Fern has it, and I'm offering her a free gold standard ADHD test. Did you know I told you about this? Yeah. Got in touch with my agent to say if she wants a free ADHD assessment. Now, I know this is going to be hard for people to hear who are actually after an ADHD assessment. And you're maybe going, take it, but I don't want it.
This is like finding out what the people get in gift bags at the Oscars, where it's like a voucher for liposuction and a house or something like that.
Yeah.
But like I'm diagnosed with ADHD. Like official now. I'm titrating at the moment. No miracles have happened. But I mean, it took crazy long for me to get this.
Which is weird because you seem to have the worst kind. The most severe kind.
I know. But like Amy Annette.
Yeah.
She texted me and she said, I just recently got my I was in a green room with her and she said, I've just got my assessment and I'm on my meds. And I was like, how long did that take you? She's like, about 3 weeks. I was like, what? And she's like, and she got it done on the NHS. And then what? And I was blown away by this, right? And then what she did for me was she printed out a letter for the NHS and posted it to my house so I could bring it in
Was it the right
to the doctor. Yeah, the right to choose.
Yeah.
And then not only the right to choose, but she told me the name of the company that were the quickest that she got hers off. So I eventually, when I was in Australia, I got my official ADHD NHS diagnosis whilst in the back of a car on the hottest day of the year in Ireland, going to Clifton. And the woman was like, I had to, my sisters were driving the car. There's no air conditioning. They had to roll down the window. I was like a dog with his head out the window getting my ADHD assessment. And the woman's like, yeah, you definitely have ADHD.
Yeah.
But I'm on the medication now. I'm on titration. And no miracles have changed. Like even...
Having been around you in Townsend again, I'm just like, I just don't have it. I just don't. Because all I could think about all day is it's someone's responsibility to sort drugs. We have to do that. And that was like all I could think about.
Yeah.
All I could think about every second of the day.
Yeah.
And I was like, we're not going to get the drugs. And it's not going to be a good night. And then I'm not going to go to the festival. And then I'll have to stay in all weekend.
Yeah.
Whereas the way ADHD people are, I was just like, stuff will happen when it happens. Things can be unplanned and casual.
Well, yeah, because many times when we're joking with each other going, the floor will provide. Because last year, the floor provided.
Every time you said that, I was like, I have the money to buy drugs. I'm not snuffling around like a truffle pig on the ground in front of people who may know me from work. No.
What is that Taskmaster's Fern Brady going along with a torch along the floor? Is this a new task?
It is like so many other things I did while on the drugs embarrassed me.
But it'd be so funny. You open up the envelope and it's like, find drugs on the floor. You type search now. And then but it was all sorted. And the person
I know, but it's I was reading the person we got them from was a lovely teenage boy.
Yeah, we got him a glass of Aquarius.
I heard Alison,
which is an electrolyte because it was
her job because I sorted the Airbnb this year, so it was her task to sort that.
Yeah,
and then we waited and waited and waited, and then I texted someone in Spanish who lied to me, and I was so good about translating everything into Spanish, and then he was like, "Oh, solo queda coca," or something. And he was like, I only have Coke.
Yeah, that's like, no, thank you.
I was like, no, gracias. he was, anyway, it was such a palaver.
Yeah.
And then I was just lying in bed in despair, like, oh, what am I going to do? Have a beer with the worst kind of drug? And then I heard the door go and Alison like, hola, muy bien. Suddenly pulling out the Spanish. So I went into the kitchen. I went into the kitchen to provide backup in case he had a gun. And
you just came in, hello.
I just thought I'd be like, hola. No rape.
No rápido. Por favor.
No molesta. I don't know what I thought I was going to do. But I just was like, oh, would you like some tea?
Yeah.
And Alison was going, Irlanda. And then she gave him electrolytes, which is in her love language is really the highest.
Yeah, because that lad was like, he was cycling all around Barcelona that day before Primavera. He's like Santa Claus on Christmas Eve.
You said to him, Santa Claus, meaning Primavera is like Christmas Day for the drug dealers at Barcelona.
Yes, yeah, but I think he thought I was just going saint, like you're a saint or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was
it was so Irish. We were like, "You're sure you don't want a cup of tea?"
Yeah. So that was sorted. What were we chatting about before that?
That I don't have ADHD. So I've always noticed, I think ADHD people they have more in common with neurotypical people.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
And in terms of their communication.
I think we're a more exaggerated form of neurotypical
Exactly.
people. Yeah.
Like, you are more fine with chaos and stuff.
Yeah.
But for example, you were saying when we were chatting in the Airbnb, you were like, Fern, when are you going to realize people aren't literally saying what they don't, people don't say what they mean? And I was like, never.
I know. And they're not consistent.
Do you know how often someone said, do you want to go for a coffee? And I've said, oh, I've had 2 coffees already, so I can't.
Yeah.
And people don't literally mean go for a coffee.
I know. And people.
There's just thousands of those.
Yeah, including me. Like, it's such a.
Yeah, so you communicate in a way that is closer to that than the way the autistics communicate.
Yeah.
And at the moment, there's this push to try and act like us and the ADHD people overlap. And I get loads more people are being diagnosed with ADHD, but I just know from the way I am at a festival, from how much I have to tone down how uptight I am and how hard I work, I know that it's not the same. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I saw someone post on Primavera subreddit, oh, I'm newly diagnosed autistic. Like, what should I do at the festival? And I thought probably the best approach is to just never get diagnosed and deny to yourself. And then, because once you get diagnosed, you become hyper aware of how much all the smells and touching is a lot. Like when we went to see geese.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I think I was the main one wanting to see geese.
Yeah.
At the start, I was like, oh, this crowd's too much. And I really think I need to go and stand at the side. But then I wanted to sort of prove to use, I don't know why I do this.
Why do you want to do that?
Because I wanted to seem laid back.
That's funny. So you stayed in on the Saturday because you were recovering.
Yeah,
from the Friday.
Because even on Friday, I remember thinking this is like the happiest night of my life ever, and I'm just feel so good.
Yeah,
and while at the same time, everyone was smoking around me, and I thought this is gonna have a cost tomorrow, so I knew I would have to stay in.
Yeah,
and it was definitely the right thing to do. But then Sunday as well, I still was like, I'm going to do stuff on my own.
Yeah.
I went on a bus tour with pensioners
you
to the seaside.
Yeah, you did.
Just 2 hours listening to information about all the Gaudi buildings. But I really, it does, even the older I get, the more those kind of things kind of have a bit of a cost.
Well, like I found...
But I'd feel embarrassed about how, it's embarrassing.
But why is it embarrassing?
Because people don't know enough about autism to know about those bits.
Yeah, it's kind of, I think ADHD people and neurotypical people probably feel that if you don't want to spend time with them, it's a rejection of them.
Yeah, so I thought on the Sunday night, I was like, oh, I bet they all think I'm like deliberately avoiding them in the huff. And I just wasn't.
No.
I actually was looking forward to his coming back, but I just... there's just a cost for every time you do something like that. But that was why it was cool to see so many other people posting, oh, how do other autistics cope at festivals? Because I think when you first get diagnosed, you think you've got I don't know, I would think, oh, people are going to see me wrecked and dancing at a festival and think, she's making it up, she's fine. It's not that. It's just for every time you do something like that, you have to like pay the tax for a couple of days.
But people who think you're making it up will just think you're making it up anyway.
There's people think you're fucking making it up anyway. I mean, I've committed heavily to the bit.
Yeah.
See when I was doing the marathon training for the autism charity, the number of times on long runs I thought, please let someone somehow come out with something on the internet that proves that I've lied about autism, and that way I get cancelled, and that way I don't have to keep doing the running.
Oh yeah, but
I would have that thought every single Sunday.
But I think it comes from like when you were a teenager and you suspected that you were autistic and you went to professionals about it and they said, do you have boyfriends? And you're like,
they were like, you're so normal. What are you on about?
So you've been told since you were a young teenager that you're lying about that.
It's cool seeing, but you know what? Even when I got diagnosed like 5 years ago or something, it's really, I still feel funny mentioning it on stage, but I've seen so many American comics, and the Aussies and the Kiwis are doing a great job just talking about it with a level of ease. Blind Boy as well. Blind Boy's doing loads.
Yeah.
So every little helps.
Lovely. But I feel with ADHD, like what made me not go for help for such a long... Well, I think there's several reasons why I didn't go for help. I thought my cognitive problems were due to like CPTSD and stuff. And I was like, well, I have to sort that out because I know bad stuff happened to me. So definitely I have CPTSD. And my cousin was diagnosed with ADHD when he was like 8. And he was so wild that I was like, I'm not like him, so I can't possibly have that.
Yeah.
And there's another element of people who go, well, everyone's diagnosed with that nowadays and people just want to feel special or whatever.
Yeah.
And that made me not go for it. And I feel like, I don't know, like it is because there's a medication for it and it hasn't worked yet. But I keep going. In a couple of months' time, I'm going to be so much better because like, what else do I have but hope? You know what I mean?
Fucking hell.
What? Is that grim?
No, it's just very deep.
I don't know. Well, like,
what was it you said earlier about chewing gum in your heart?
Yeah.
Well, that was a separate episode.
Yeah. Chewing gum in the heart.
Can we talk about Lena Dunham's autism?
Yeah. Can we talk about that in the Patreon? Because I think if we... Cool. And you can keep that in. So if you're a listener and you're like, I'm intrigued about that, go listen to it. Is that really weirdly professional? Hey, thank you. Thank you so much for watching this podcast on YouTube. Well, I'm being sincere. Back to you. Thank you, mate. You're really helping so much. You know what will help a little bit more, though?
If you smash the subscribe button, get in touch with us. We'd love to hear from you. You can message us on WhatsApp. I think the WhatsApp number is here somewhere on the screen.
Or email us at ignorethatfeelingpod@gmail.com.
Thank you. See you next week.